This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Now at 7, as COVID-19 spreads around Indiana, the plan to keep truck drivers on the road and our store shelves stocked.
And I want to know what they're doing, and are they testing the other residents, which I know they're not doing.
Families are growing concerned about loved ones in nursing homes because of COVID-19. We'll show you where you can go to get help.
Special needs children, especially children on the spectrum, it kind of gets put by the wayside.
The pandemic has caused a sudden lack of support systems that are critical for children with autism. The help that's now stepping in. Welcome into the news at 7. I'm Amanda Starantino at the RTV6 studios.
And I'm Mark Mullins in a temporary home studio, social distancing because of the COVID-19 outbreak. First at 7 o'clock here, severe weather has entered the state of Indiana. Storms are making their way east. We want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory on this Storm Team 6 alert day. Kevin.
And these storms that will roll through central Indiana this evening will change this by about 30 degrees in short order. Tomorrow afternoon will be much cooler than what we have now, where temperatures surged into the 80s in spots. There's your warning. The storm sits just to the west of Williamsport and Attica, and it's moving quickly to the east. So the severe thunderstorm warning from Warren County into Tippecanoe County, crossing 231 from Lafayette to around Linden. There's the eastern portion of that warning. That's until the bottom of the hour. We may see 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, also half-dollar size hail with that storm as it moves through Williamsport, Attica, and then between Lafayette and Linden. Here's a line of storms, some severe, that I think will continue to gain strength and kind of come together as it moves to the east. You've got the thunderstorm watch over Illinois. I think we'll see a watch issued for a large part of central Indiana very shortly. 8 to 9 o'clock, there's the arrival of the line of storms with severe storms likely, damaging wind and hail the main threats, but can't rule out isolated tornadoes. That's when it arrives. We'll talk about when it leaves and what replaces it coming up.
Kevin, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Now to the latest on coronavirus in our state. There are now more than 200 deaths in Indiana from COVID-19.
But there may be a little good news when we look at the latest numbers. The Indiana State Department of Health confirms 30 more deaths from COVID-19. That means 203 Hoosiers have now died from the virus. According to the state, there were 439 new cases of coronavirus reported today. That's potentially good news because that's down from yesterday's single-day record number of 565 new cases. But overall, there have been 5,943 people in Indiana who have tested positive for COVID-19 since the pandemic began. And a total of 30,869 people have been tested.
COVID-19 is keeping many workers throughout Indiana and across the nation home. Working for you, RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows us the plan to keep truck drivers at work and on the road so our store shelves stay stocked with food and other essentials.
Many of us may be working from home, but thousands of Indiana bus and truck drivers are still on the road, moving essential people and goods during the coronavirus pandemic. The state office issuing licenses to operate those commercial vehicles closed to help slow the spread of coronavirus. And that's not good news for drivers whose license will soon expire. To avoid disruptions, Governor Holcomb is now making changes.
The Bureau of Motor Vehicles this week started by appointment only in-person transactions for those needing CDL or restricted agriculture CDLs on Monday. They've been processing those. There's 34 that have been completed already with over 200 more appointments that are set for this week. They're doing what they can to make sure that the drivers can stay on the road and keep our shelves stocked.
An alert on the BMV website says only select branches will be open across the state, allowing drivers to obtain new CDLs or commercial learners permits and adjust endorsements. All other in-person operations are suspended. The governor's executive order also waives all late fees and extends the expiration date on all state-issued licenses and registrations. Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
And the state revealed today that at least 31 people have died at Indiana nursing homes and long-term care facilities from COVID-19, including deaths at facilities in Madison and Johnson counties. These deaths account for 15% of all COVID-19 deaths in our state. RTV6 reporter Kara Kenny talked with families who are growing increasingly concerned about their loved ones in nursing homes and found out where you can go for help.
Talking to people on the phone and the computer is a way of life these days, and people with loved ones in nursing homes are no exception. COVID-19 means some families are going weeks without seeing their loved ones, and some feel they're being left in the dark.
Gloria Benefield's 91-year-old mother, Violet, has lived at Greenwood Meadows since 2015. She's concerned because she says some patients at the facility have tested positive for COVID-19 and have been placed in isolation. Gloria is worried about her mom and says she's stunned by the lack of information provided by Greenwood Meadows about the situation.
I got a call from her last night about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and she was really distraught because she couldn't get any help and nobody would come in and talk to her as to what was going on.
Gloria hasn't seen her mom in 3 weeks and wants to know how many patients have been impacted by COVID-19 and what Greenwood Meadows is doing about it.
Depressed, distraught, because I'm out here and can do nothing for her, and still I talk to her every day, but she doesn't get to see me because I don't go out there every day, because now they're saying don't go out at all for the next 2 weeks. So it's very, very upsetting.
We reached out to American Senior Communities, which operates Greenwood Meadows, and they did not respond to our questions about COVID-19 at that facility. The health and wellness of our residents and employees remains a top priority. We are in close contact with local and state health authorities and following their guidance, along with national and CDC recommendations and mandates. ASC says they are screening every employee and vendor who comes into their buildings. Employees are wearing masks, and they have a strict no visitor policy except for end-of-life situations. So where can you go if you need help? A state or local long-term care ombudsman that acts as a mediator between residents, their families, and the facilities.
It's best to be transparent. Certainly right now with the pandemic, people want to know what's going on, and it's best to be open and communicate with your residents and your family members and your residents' representatives. That's the best way to get the information out there.
We've created links on how to reach the ombudsman and this story on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
And the state health commissioner announced today it is requiring long-term care facility directors to report COVID-19 cases to local and state health departments within 24 hours. That includes residents and workers.
Because of COVID-19, countless families with autism have seen their lives upended. The pandemic has prompted a sudden lack of support systems that are crucial for children with autism's development. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows you the help and resources available for families in this position tonight.
Hi. You're crazy. And he's climbing.
A lively 4-year-old, Hudson Teodoro, is a nonverbal child on the autism spectrum. The loss of constant schooling and therapeutic input is immense right now, and the regression can be immeasurable.
If he's not constantly going to school, constantly getting therapy, he goes to school during the summer, he'll regress. I mean, his teachers have always expressed that they're concerned even when he goes on, spring break or Christmas break.
His mom, Kristen, now must become his teacher, his speech therapist, and his occupational therapist each day.
I'm not a trained speech therapist. I'm not a trained occupational therapist. They have tricks and know how to do things that I can try my hardest, and I do, but I'm still not doing it the way they would do it.
Hudson depends on school and daily engagement for critical development.
I almost wish that they could come to the house, but they can't. So he's losing that, and we don't know how long he'll lose it, so that's a little scary.
On top of teaching and being a source of strength for her children, Kristen and her husband are also dealing with the emotional toll this takes on both of them.
a stressful time for my husband and I, because we don't know if we're doing the right thing.
But groups like Autism Speaks is filling in for the sudden lack of support systems.
How to talk to your loved one with autism about COVID, how to handle disrupted routines. We have toolkits around challenging behaviors or using visual supports.
Offering online programs for school-based services and clinical care to support families through this.
You don't need to be hard on yourself.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And we will attach a link to all of those resources on our website at theindychannel.com that you can start utilizing right now. Just click on this story. Coming up here on RTV6, a lot of flavor in one little bite. But the cookies coming from the Indianapolis shop are bringing smiles to some very important people. Find out how you can get a taste and help the cause. Coming up.
Well, there's no question that race fans can't wait to get back to racing, and the company that manufactures the race cars themselves for IndyCar, Dallara, is doing its part in getting everyone back on the racetrack. How they're doing it, coming up at our Sports Extra Spotlight.
Again, a severe thunderstorm sits right over Williamsport and Attica, moving to the east. 60-mile-per-hour winds, some half-dollar-size hail will pass from Lafayette through Linden to Crawfordsville, somewhere in that general region, crossing 231. This is what we'll talk about. It'll dramatically change conditions here shortly in central Indiana.
Thanks for the update, Kevin. How can small cookies make a big impact during this COVID-19 outbreak?
RTV6's Brad Brown finds out.
In baking circles, these tiny bits are a tough cookie to master. But the crew at Indy's Macaron Bar on Mass Ave have pretty much perfected the process.
It's a great opportunity to serve customers who are still looking for something to enjoy in this time. And it also is helping us keep as much of our staff employed as possible, which is really important to us, that we keep a paycheck in the hands of our staff that we can.
2 pillowy soft wafers with just the right amount of sweetness sandwiched in the middle. Nathan Sivitz and his bakery wizards continue to put together hundreds every day.
We were looking for ways we could contribute and keep operating, keep our bakers busy, and this was a great way, I think, to do that.
They're sharing these sweet treats with medical personnel all over the region. You can donate a dozen or several dozen macarons to workers who deserve a little something extra.
Pretty much everybody we know probably has somebody in their lives, a family member, somebody they know that is in healthcare, working either on the front lines or at a doctor's office or wherever. And we knew that it was one small way we could help those folks.
Macaron Bar has their menu available for takeout and delivery, and demand continues to be high.
Since we've opened it up to allow our customers to also contribute to that effort, there's been a great response there too, and people are really looking for ways they can give back while they're at home, maybe not able to help out directly.
Macaron Bar has already donated more than 4,000 cookies to local medical staffs. They also have locations in Louisville, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Columbus. By the way, May 23rd is known as Macaron Day. Hopefully by then we can all get together to enjoy a treat. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Home experts at theindychannel.com.
Well, I hope you felt the warmth of the sunshine and enjoyed those temperatures today. They're still very warm, but from sunshine to storms, and it will happen fairly quickly here over the next hour. It's already happening for those of you Williamsport and Attica. That severe storm with hail potential, damaging wind will pass between Lafayette and Crawfordsville. There's the warning, and there are others that will follow, basically with the entire line that's in the land of Lincoln now as these race to the east, in some cases moving at 50 miles per hour or faster, steamrolling their way to the east. The warning for Tippecanoe County and northern portions of Montgomery until 7:30. There's the storm, and again, Linden kind of in the middle of that. If you can put your car inside, do that with the hail history of these storms. There's the line, and it continues southwest of Springfield, Illinois, moving quickly to the east. 70-mile-per-hour gusts, quarter-size hail, or much larger possible with this line, and it may intensify as it arrives in the Hoosier State. 8 o'clock tonight. not far from now. Lafayette, Crawfordsville to Terre Haute, 9 o'clock, jumping toward the metro area. With the storms moving on their own at such a quick pace, that increases the likelihood of damaging wind with these storms. By the time we get to 10, pushing east of Indianapolis, a Muncie to Newcastle to Greensburg, Seymour line, intense storms, and then by 11, pushing into Ohio and Kentucky. The storm threats, as we mentioned, mainly damaging wind and large hail, but embedded in what we call that squall line, that long line of thunderstorms, could have an isolated tornado, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a tornado warning tonight, but that's not the main threat. Storm Shield app, always a great thing to have. If your phone is charged, you'll get warnings right to your phone. It's a weather radio for your iPhone or Android device. Big change tomorrow. I'm talking about it now, but we'll feel it tomorrow. Shorts and short sleeves today. You heavier coat tomorrow. The wind will whip over 30 miles per hour. That will make temperatures that struggle to hit 50 feel much, much cooler. Sunny in the morning, clouds in the afternoon, even some rain showers around. And just to show you how dramatic the change will be, after temperatures peak on Easter Sunday at 61 with rain likely, we'll be cool enough Monday night and Tuesday night to mix in some snowflakes with some rain showers. At lows are headed back into frosty territory Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning.
Can't believe we're hearing that. All right, Kevin, thank you. We'll leave it to the racing community to be among those to react to a need to fight against COVID-19.
And among the first to help is a company known for its quickness and safety. Dave First on the Speedway Company, racing to help in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
You've seen what they make, the IndyCar chassis, one of the most recognizable race cars in the world. But it's what Dallara is doing inside this building in Speedway, which is being more recognized than ever.
At what point did you think, hey, we can help some people here?
Basically, whenever you're facing some emergency time, there's something, you're becoming more and more creative.
Inside the Dallara building in Speedway, Stefano DePonte and his crew are cutting material to be used for masks and gowns, material coming from Stitchworks in Indy, with finished products headed to Eskenazi Hospital.
Do you have any idea how long you'll be doing this, or whatever's needed is what's needed here?
I'm trying to help as much as I can, as much as they need it.
These machines usually cut carbon fiber cloth used in race car and aerospace components for a company that has gone all in. Back in its headquarters in Italy, where the coronavirus continues to hit hard, the company's namesake, Giampaolo Dallara, has directed the development of a new mask, which could help victims early on.
We are receiving components to put at least a sample, a prototype here at Dallara USA, and give it to somebody who wants to try to see if it can be of any beneficial.
A group race fans usually see, but rarely hear from.
As a fan of motorsports and someone who's deeply involved in this sport, could you ever have dreamed of doing something like this in such a needy time like this?
Honestly, no. I think I was talking to my boss yesterday, which is very, obviously, Mr. Dallara is very concerned and worried, of course, like all the businessmen with employees' responsibilities.
Bottom line, do you feel like you're making a difference, Stefano?
I want to go back like everyone else in our business to meet people at the racetrack and go back to normal.
Making a difference safely and quickly. It's the Dallara way. Dave First, RTV6 Sports. Hey, we continue our RTV6 senior salutes for the spring sport athletes whose season came to an abrupt end. And tonight, we had to Franklin Community and an RTV6 senior salute to Emma Rutan. The Grizzly Cup catcher had her sights set on her final season after being named All-Mid-State Conference and All-County a year ago. Leading on and off the diamond, Emma's attitude and effort are unmatched. She's also a member of the school's Student Athletic Leadership Council. Tonight, we salute Emma. If you'd like to nominate a spring sport athlete, email me at dave.first@WRTV.com.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
And just issued a tornado watch that for all of central Indiana will inherit storms and see quick changes in our weather over the next several hours. Stay with RTV6.